In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect your Copilot with an independent Power Automate flow which you have created. Now, the usual process is you go into one of your Copilot, you create a topic. So, take for example, if I create a topic and I'll call this topic as call weather, and I can put some phrase call weather, just add it. Now if I want to call a Power Automate flow, what I'm going to do, I'll click on add node and then go into call an action, and then from here I will click on create a flow. Now what happens once you create a flow, it will open a Power Automate interface, and then from this Power Automate interface it will give you a scaffolded component to utilize. Now, as you see this scaffolded component, there is something off over here. I can see that it has given me a when Copilot Studio calls a flow. Okay, this looks like a classic control, and return values to Power Virtual Agent, which is like an old term. Now, if I do not want to use this by default template, what I can do, I can go into Microsoft Power Automate. First thing, what I need to do is like go into the solution and then create a solution. So independently, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a Power Automate flow and then refer that flow in Copilot Studio. So with that, what will happen is that I will not have any dependent component from Copilot Studio. So I'm going to click on new solution and I'll just say call it as weather weather flow. So it is important that your solution need to be in a specific your Power Automate flow need to be in a specific solution for this to work. So I'm in the solution now. From here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create new app automation, cloud flow, and then automated flow. Now I will just skip the starting component, and then I will need to select a trigger. Now the trigger which I'm going to show you is related to Copilot. So let's skip this for a moment, and it is important that you rename your flow. So I'll just call it as weather flow, and then from here I will just type in Copilot. Now the moment I type in Copilot, he'll say run a flow from Copilot. Okay, so I'll select this run a flow from Copilot, and I will add another step of action which I will call it as Copilot, and then select skills and then use respond to Copilot. Now this flow which I'm going to create and the one which Copilot has created, it is different. As you see over here, the different actions are used over here. But if I want to use a skill action, run a flow from Copilot or respond to Copilot, I can do that as well, right? So what I'm going to do, I'll just save this. I will not do any specific action because this is just a demonstration for you. In like I'm just showing you that you can first create a Power Automate flow completely in Power Automate and then refer that flow in Copilot Studio. So weather flow is saved now, and I can even test this flow. Now, if I go into this Copilot Studio, first I'm gonna save my topic, okay? And what you need to do is then once this topic is saved, you just need to refresh the screen, because if you create a Power Automate solution and if you are in between of authoring a Copilot Studio, Copilot, and then you're authoring the Power Automate solution, then it might not be reflected immediately. So for that, we need to do that refresh. So I'm just refreshing my Copilot. And once you refresh that Copilot Studio screen, then you should be able to see the flow which we have created named as weather flow. Now here, I will go into the bot or the Copilot Garage Cleaner service, go to topics, just close this. And here, if I click on add a node, now if I do a call and action, I should be able to see weather flow. Okay. Now, if you go through this multiple tabs, make sure that you are on this action tab, and then on this action tab, you should be able to see weather flow. Now, if I click on weather flow, then you can see that I have this action control adding those weather flow, and then I can call this Power Automate flow, right? So what we have done, Like instead of selecting or creating Power Automate from here, call an action and then create a flow, because once you create a flow from here, it will create this sort of component. It will create an old looking written value to Power Virtual Agent component. Now if you do not want that thing to happen, then what you can do, you can create a separate solution, and then within that solution create a Power Automate flow, and make sure that you have this trigger, run a flow from Copilot, and you have this respond to Copilot button, which will basically respond to Copilot action, which will allow you to respond back to your Copilot. So this is also one of the way through which you can create a Power Automate flow independently and then hook it up to your Copilot Studio Copilot. Thanks for watching.